From PRX, it's... This week, comedian Hari Kondabolu.
And the audience doesn't know what's going on. They don't know what the heckle was. So I'd say give it a second, digest it, and then destroy the human being that caused trouble.
Podcasters Lindy, West, and Meagan Hatcher-Mays.
I feel like you don't even buy shampoo. Oh, no. What's the need? You can always add more water.
Yeah.
Shake it up.
With music from John Craigie and our fabulous house band. I'm your announcer, Elena Passarello, and now, the host of Livewire, Luke Burbank.
We have an absolutely fantastic show in store for you this week. Can't wait to get to it. First, though, we got to kick things off the way that we always do. A little segment that we call The Best News We Heard All Week. Here is the premise of this segment. Despite what you may have heard, there is good news happening on planet Earth. It takes a lot of research. But luckily, we've got a crack team that looks for good news, and then we find it and we tell you about it. Elena, what's the best news you heard all week?
Well, you know what I always say? If you're looking for good news, turn to plants.
Yes.
This news comes from the world of botany.
Okay.
There's a little shrub called Petolius cinereus. It's a shrub that has little purple flowers that kind of come up like milkweed, long stalks. Have you ever seen it? No, you haven't. I'm going to tell you haven't. You know why I know you haven't?
Why?
Because I know when you were born. And the last time anybody saw Petolius cinereus was nearly a decade before you were born.
Wow, so like in the 60s or something?
That's right, yeah. LBJ was president. I don't know why I'm bringing up all these American facts like the birth of Luke Burbank and LBJ's presidency.
People think of those in the same context. Those
Yes,
are both
that's right.
incredibly big moments
Yes.
for this nation's history.
You are the LBJ of public radio.
I don't know if I want that title, but okay.
So this shrub is an antipodal plant. It's from the Australia area, and it's been missing longer than both of us have been alive. But this summer, a horticulturist and bird bander named Aaron Bean was traipsing around a remote area of Queensland, and he saw a plant that matched its description, which we should pause here to say this guy knows so much about plants, he could recognize a plant that nobody has seen probably as long as he's been alive. That is an encyclopedia. Like, plant people are amazing. So he uploaded it to this forum called iNaturalist, which is kind of a community. Yeah. Oh, do we have iNaturalist users in the house?
I mean, it's a public radio crowd. Most of these people...
It's true. Are you on it now?
Most of the people met their partners on iNaturalist.
That's right. Well, so you guys know about this great citizen scientist website that not only just fans of nature use, but, trained botanists use it. And a bunch of experts weighed in after Aaron Bean was like, is this what I think it is? And after a process, they confirmed that, yes, this plant that had thought to be long gone was thriving in this tiny region well, I don't know if it was thriving, but at least it was there.
Wow.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, the best news is about like the folks here who participate in iNaturalist, other kind of citizen science forums like what's happening in the Katmai Peninsula with bears, and explore.org, where people are monitoring wildlife cams. Audubon has all of these opportunities we have so much more ability to catalog our world because of people who go out and take pictures and upload it. They say that iNaturalist has 104 million verified images.
Wow.
So, sometimes it's hard to see the internet is doing very much good. That's a generalization, but this is an example of where it's, I think, a wonderful thing that we all can do to make sure we have a great biological picture of our world.
Also, if this plant could survive and maybe even be brought back from the brink, there is hope for the plants at my house that I bought from Trader Joe's once on a weird whim that I'll be honest with you, they don't seem like they're doing well.
No, yeah, I'm actually getting something from iNaturalist right now. No, a citizen scientist has just put a skull and crossbones on that app about your Trader Joe's plants.
Unfortunately.
Sorry about you.
The best news that I heard all week actually came from a Livewire listener named Mark, who sent this in. Shout out to Mark. And you know a lot about animals, Elena. In fact, you wrote a great book, Animals Strike Curious Poses.
Thanks, Mom.
So you probably know that sort of the thought has been that it's a relatively small list of kinds of animals that can use tools. Primates have demonstrated the ability, some birds, also some marine mammals like dolphins. But there's a new animal that we can add to the list. It's a cow named Veronica from Austria who's 10 years old. And the folks taking care of Veronica noticed that she was really adept at finding things in her natural environment that she could use to scratch her ass with. And somebody just said, "Me too," in the audience. Which, Veronica, are you here? And but it was so kind of repetitive and like it seemed like there was some intention behind it that they called up some scientists who came out and decided to run this whole study, which they just published in the magazine Current Biology. And they basically set Veronica up with a variety of different like things that she could use to scratch herself. Some of them were kind of, sometimes they had soft bristles, other times they were stiffer, they were different lengths. And the researchers say that Veronica used different parts of the same tool for specific purposes. She even modified her technique depending on the type of object or the area of her body that she wanted to scratch.
And she's holding it in between...
in her mouth.
Yeah.
And like scratching her back with like a long broom, with all these different things that they had sort of set up for her.
So she also could like... She could do it backwards. Like she could hold the broom in her mouth and feel the broom. Wow.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah.
And they think that this is the first time that they've ever seen a cow using tools. And what they think it means is that we may be underestimating or may have underestimated the cognitive capacity of cows. And this is one more thing. The thing about Veronica is a pet. She's not living in one of these, sort of less than great environments that a lot of cattle end up in. She's living in a field. She's not producing meat or milk. She's just hanging out, finding things to scratch herself with, which they think is very good for her cognitive abilities, right? So I also feel like this is a real W for the cartoonist Gary Larson who did The Far Side. It seems like most of the Far Side cartoons were about an animal using a tool in a way that we didn't expect them to.
Yeah.
And we laughed at Gary Larson, and now look who's laughing now. So the fact that Veronica is getting a good scratch, that maybe this will lead to us thinking a little bit about how we're treating these cows and being nicer to them, and the fact that Gary Larson is having a great week. That's the best news that I heard all week, my friends. You're listening to Livewire from PRX. Let's get our first guest on out here. He's a comedian and writer who the New York Times calls one of the most exciting political comics in stand-up today. He's released multiple comedy specials and is a regular panelist on Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me. He's also was one of the hosts of the Netflix food show Snack vs. Chef, where he ate a lot of snacks and then probably needed some medical attention, which is convenient because he's now also the co-host of the new podcast Health Stuff, where he learns things and hangs out with an actual double board certified physician. Please welcome Hari Kondabolu to Livewire. Hari, welcome back to the show.
It's nice to be here.
I said something to that intro for you that I actually don't know if it is true or not. I said that you were one of the hosts of Snack vs. Chef and that you ate a lot of snacks. But did you?
Oh, yeah.
So you had access to the snacks.
Oh, I had lost about 20 pounds to get ready for that show. Because it's like I'm hosting a TV show and I want to look good. And then that started a bender that hasn't ended for 4 years now.
You could have a lawsuit.
I mean, honestly.
With Netflix.
I mean, it was funny because they had they had a fake bodega full of like chocolate bars and stuff. And we were told not to touch them because for continuity's sake. But as soon as the last episode was done, I went nuts. But the thing, it was a fake bodega, so they also had like bodega stuff. So they said you could have whatever you wanted. So I was grabbing toilet paper. I had like deodorant for 3 years.
Like you had a bodega cat.
Exactly.
That you brought home with you.
I went for the big money items.
Yeah.
It was like supermarket sweep. I was excited.
Is it fun hosting like a kind of a competition show like that, or is it really like long hours and actually more tedious than people might think?
I mean, it was long hours and it was very tedious, but it was also really fun. You know, I was hosting with Meg Stalter, who is absolutely brilliant. She's some of you might know her from Hacks, but she's a fantastic comedic actress, and like I just had so much fun doing that job.
Did you learn anything can you make some kind of exotic snack preparation now? Do you know how to make a Reese's peanut butter cup or whatever from scratch?
I learned nothing. Nothing was gained other than pounds.
So you are hosting this podcast now called Health Stuff with a doctor named Dr. Priyanka Wali.
Yes.
How did this end up happening? Did they approach you? Did you pitch this show around? How did you become the non-doctor on this show?
They were looking for a co-host for Priyanka. Priyanka had hosted another podcast called Hypochondriactor.
Okay.
So they asked me if I'd be interested, and we did a test run. It went great, and that's it. Like, I got this gig, even though, I mean, here's the thing. If it was a television show, I don't think I would have gotten it because I'm not particularly healthy. But because it's a podcast, nobody knows.
Your co-host, Dr. Wali, is also, I was on her Instagram page, she's also a stand-up comedian and a practicing medical doctor.
Yeah, which is...
Come on.
lot, man. Like,
that's supposed to be your lane.
I'm just a stand-up comic, and she's like a stand-up comic, a successful one at that. Like, she toured and all that, and then she was like, "I'm gonna be a doctor again," and then now she's a double board-certified doctor. It's yeah. My parents, I'm sure, are like, we got the wrong one.
I don't know though. Like, I was thinking about this. Do you want a funny doctor as the patient? You know what I mean? That seems like that could go sideways pretty fast.
I think it depends on what kind of doctor. Proctologists, no. Dentists, yeah.
You're listening to the Livewire from PRX. We're talking to comedian and podcaster Hari Kondabolu. We're at Revolution Hall in Portland this week, and we need to take a very quick break, but don't go anywhere. More Livewire in just a moment. Welcome back to Livewire from PRX. I'm Luke Burbank here with Elena Passarello. We are talking to comedian and podcaster Hari Kondabolu. Did you agree to do this Health Stuff podcast because as a comedian you do not have adequate health care, and this allows you to talk to a physician with no copay on a weekly basis?
No, but that's brilliant, actually. You know, I mean, especially in some of the early episodes, there's always a section where I'm talking about an ailment I have. like something, I pulled something, or I just got a crown put in. Like there's always something where I'm updating the audience on like the state of my health. And Priyanka just listens and smiles, and then we move on with the show.
You're not able to glean a little free kind of medical advice, like while you're sound checking or before the show's happening in real life. You'd be like holding your foot up to Zoom, going,
Right.
Does this bunion look problematic?
Is my pee supposed to be neon?
Have you learned anything in the process of co-hosting this that's actually been pretty surprising to you, just about like the human body or like, things related to medicine?
Every episode, there's always something that shocks me. I mean, we did one about matrescence. It's like adolescence, but for the mother when they have a kid, like the big changes that happen, both like psychologically, biologically, socially in a woman's life when they have a kid. And we were just talking about different like countries and how like raising a child works, and how in certain countries a child is touched by up to 10 to 15 different human beings during the day, because that's how community works. Like you have different people, holding your kid, taking care of your kid, giving you a chance to recover from this incredible thing you've just done. And in America, it's not 10 to 15 people a day. It's a very different kind of thing. So it's kind of like learning those kinds of things. Like that's not necessarily like a medical thing, but it's the show really is about like how society affects your health and like the bigger issues involving health. The fact that it's not like if something's happening in your body, that means something set it up, right? Maybe it's pollution, maybe it's bad food, maybe it's bad water. Like let's discuss it. I mean, the show's a real laugh fest.
It is though. It's a really nice blend of information and also humor. You are both very funny.
We do have a fun time with it. I mean, it's hard because some of the topics are heavy, but like we try to infuse just enough humor where you can like, you're not completely broken by the end of it. Like, because some of this stuff is heavy, but it's really a fun show.
So, Hari, you're a nationally touring stand-up comedian, and I'm just kind of curious, like, how you feel about the sort of state of stand-up comedy these days. I feel like it's gone through so many shifts. Like, I look at far too much TikTok, but what I see on there a lot is, like, everything that's coming out of the stand-up comedy world is either crowd work, it's comedian destroys heckler, or it's this scene in Austin where it's like a lot of really seemingly pretty toxic comedy going on, and this kind of scene down there that's generating a lot of the well-known folks, or it's just three dudes sitting around on a couch talking into microphones, podcasting. It feels like stand-up comedy is in a kind of a weird place. How do you find it?
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, crowd work is a part of the gig, right? Like, if somebody talks or heckles you, you have to address it and make sure you regain control of the show. But the idea that that's all stand-up is, like, I'm doing shows and I've noticed more people are calling out and stuff than they usually do. And it's like, oh, you think you're part of the show, even though I have the microphone and everyone's facing me. So it's a very strange phenomenon. And yeah, I mean, I think that scenes go in waves, right? And so right now we're in this whole anti-cancel culture. We can say whatever we want, and like this kind of whole vibe, which like is definitely not what I'm necessarily into. It's a lot of people that feel that all these great comics are being canceled. No one's really getting canceled. I mean, the last comic that was canceled was Lenny Bruce. You know what I mean? Like, and he died of like a morphine overdose. Like after like there was all these court cases that the government like that's cancellation. Somebody's saying, hey, maybe don't say that. Like you're a comic, then you come up with a joke to address that. I mean, that's how this works. It's free speech, right? So,
do you have any strategies for kind of getting things back on track when you're dealing with hecklers?
The first thing I do is pause, like a second for the audience to digest it and for me to think of something. Because I think sometimes people just start talking. The audience doesn't know what's going on. They don't know what the heckle was. They don't see the whole room the way you do. So I'd say give it a second, digest it, and then destroy the human being that caused trouble.
How do you train to know how to do that?
At the London School of Economics, where Hari attended. Yeah. True story, by the way. London School of Economics grad.
Yes.
I always have to
Thanks.
brag on your behalf because that's like the coolest academic accomplishment of anyone I know.
Yeah, it's. I've wasted a lot of money. Is what that tells everybody. I mean, I think it's a fear response, right? Like you're basically an animal in a corner of a room, and everyone expects something from you, and your jokes are how you stay alive. And if there's a stoppage and there's silence, you have to come up with something, right? I think it's a fear response that forces you to say something, and sometimes the thing you say is incredibly mean and destroys a human being. But it regains the attention of the room, and that's kind of what you wanted to begin with.
We're talking to Hari Kondabolu here on Livewire this week. I saw something on your Instagram page a couple months ago that I literally thought was one of those Sora AI videos. Because it was Zohran Mamdani standing in front of a huge crowd of people saying, wait, before I go, I have to take a minute to shout out and honor my friend Hari Kondabolu, who believed in me before I even believed in myself. And by the way, Zohran Mamdani, the new mayor of New York. You know that guy?
Yeah.
That's insane.
I've known Zoran since he was 17 or 18.
Wow.
And he went to my alma mater, Bowdoin College, and his mother had asked me to talk to him just about what the school was going to be like. And we spoke, and then we kept in touch for his 4 years in college and after, and remained friends. He lived in Seattle for a summer doing an internship, so I used to live in Seattle, so I hooked him up with all my cool friends there. And he's such a great guy. He asked me to do a fundraiser for his run for assembly when he first ran for assembly before becoming mayor of New York.
Yeah, you can't even say it. It's so crazy.
So stunning. I remember him telling me that he was going to run, and I was happy he was going to run because his values were going to be on display. And the bigger, his campaign got, the more people could hear about, here are alternate possibilities for what the future could be in the city, right? And this is something we're fighting for. I mean, I feel bad, but I didn't think he was going to win. Because there's such a big machine, right? Especially in the Democratic Party, there's such a machine that prevents candidates like that who are Democratic socialists from having a chance of winning. But he's so charismatic, and he's so smart, and he's so funny, and he understands how to use social media and he's on every podcast. He's on every video show, and he's so good in all of them, and he knows how to reach young people. And that's the group that we were trying to mobilize more than anything. Instead of worrying about how do we get the middle, there's a bunch of voters on the left that desperately want to be inspired to vote and to care. And that's who he's reaching, and it's unbelievable.
Incredible. This is Livewire Radio. We're talking to Hari Kondabolu. Okay, Hari, you've got this new podcast. It's about various health ailments and struggles that we face as humans. And the co-host of the show is, of course, as we said, a real-life doctor, which is probably for the best. But we were thinking, if RFK Jr. can run Health and Human Services, why not give stand-up comic Hari Kondabolu a crack at practicing some unlicensed medicine?
Yeah, I can do this.
So here's what we're going to do. We're going to describe some medical situations, and we would like you to try to give us your best guess as to what is going on.
All right.
But because we really don't want the smoke of doling out questionable human medical advice on Livewire, take a note, Dr. Oz, we're going to focus on non-human animals who we're pretty sure aren't going to hear this anyway. So these are some medical situations with non-human animals that we would like to get your best guess on what is going on. All right. So a koala comes into your medical practice and is presenting with wheezing and coughing. What would you likely diagnose this koala with, Dr. Kondabolu?
A cold. I mean, based on what I know about colds, there's often sneezing and coughing.
Yeah.
And I would prescribe the koala with the appropriate cough syrup, because I'm assuming there must be koala cough syrup.
It's the cutest cough syrup out there. It's adorable. They hold it with their little hands.
Flavored.
Eucalyptus flavored.
That would be close. The most likely diagnosis would be chlamydia.
Wow.
Three people in the audience were like, yep,
Yeah.
checks out.
Yeah.
From coughing and
Slutty koalas.
really?
Yeah.
Up to
That's-
48% of the koala population has chlamydia. And in some parts of
Man.
Australia, the infection rates are as high as 90%.
Well, then I'd prescribe condoms, is what I'd
Yeah.
prescribe. My God.
Adorable little condoms. Here's a bonus fun koala. This is much more fun than the chlamydia one. A bonus fun fact: koala fingerprints are so close to humans' fingerprints that they could conceivably taint a crime scene.
Good to know.
Yes.
Useful information.
All right. We've taken care of the koala, and now the next patient to come into your office, Dr. Kondabolu, is a horned lizard presenting with blood splurting out of its eyeballs. What do we think is going on here?
I mean, this is why you have to make sure you clean your contacts every morning. Make sure you put the solution in, and
Do not go to sleep with them in.
do not sleep. Clearly, this lizard has dry eyes.
Yes. This is apparently like a pretty regular thing for this horned lizard because they do this on the regular. Horned lizards restrict the blood flow to their head until the pressure builds up, rupturing the vessels in their eyelids. They do this as a defense mechanism to confuse their predators.
It's confusing.
Yeah, it seems effective. I would immediately back away from the horned lizard I was about to eat if it did that. All right, how about this? A Colorado snapperfish swims into your office, but its tongue has fallen out, but now there's a new tongue that's growing there. What do we think is going on with this snapperfish, Dr. Kondabolu?
Oh my God. Well, clearly it's an alien.
Yeah.
Like, there's no question that's not a snapperfish. That's an alien. This is a.
Well,
That's close. I
yeah,
think.
it has been invaded. Its mouth has been invaded by something called a Cymotha exigua, also known as a tongue-eating louse.
Oh my God.
By the way, this radio show is on right about lunchtime on Saturdays. This is one of our least popular segments. The louse eats the fish's tongue and then attaches to what's left and is now the fish's new tongue.
The louse is the new tongue?
That sounds like a horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that. Oh my God. That's almost like the animal version of human centipede.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, last one. A female ferret shows up at your office presenting with aggression and high estrogen. What can we do to help this female ferret, Dr. Kondabolu?
Well, definitely don't talk down to the ferret.
Do not.
Right.
No. Very
Don't tell her to relax.
Wise.
Don't tell her to relax.
Yeah, wise.
No condescension.
No.
Just hear her out and find out what's going on.
Very well handled, Dr. Kondabolu. There's also something very real going on with this ferret, and that is that the ferret needs to mate. And if the ferret does not mate, there is a 30% chance she will die.
Oh my God.
That would be such a good half rom-com, half action movie. You know? like Speed meets How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yes.
You know?
If I don't have sex,
Yeah.
I am going to die.
Also, I'm a ferret.
Yes. Well, Hari Kondabolu, great job on our little exercise.
you.
You got none of them right, but it was still a great effort. Hari Kondabolu.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for coming on Livewire. That was Hari Kondabolu right here on Livewire. Make sure you check out Hari's new podcast, Health Stuff, wherever you cast your pods. This is Livewire. Okay, our next guests are an actual pair of best friends in real life. In fact, they were voted most likely to make you laugh at their high school. But the amazing thing is, they've actually delivered on that promise by co-hosting the very wonderful podcast Text Me Back, which blends the news and their lives and their text threads and their meditations on pop culture, meditations that run deep, real deep, and weird, but in an entertaining way. Let's take a listen to Lindy West and Meagan Hatcher-Mays, recorded live at Benaroya Hall in Seattle back in December. Meagan and Lindy, welcome to Livewire.
Yay, thanks. Thank you for exciting.
having us.
What an honor.
I am such an enormous fan of Text Me Back. It is just the best listen. I'm wondering what like a typical session of your podcast is like, you know, from a recording standpoint. Like, how detailed of a plan are you going in with? Because I host a podcast that's kind of a chat show, and I think people would be surprised at how much planning can go into something that sounds very casual. Where are you guys at on the spectrum of preparation on Text Me Back?
Oh, boy.
On the topic of planning, thanks for asking. Actually, we were just talking about this on the way over here. Lindy loves to text me to be like, I have a segment idea. Okay. It's my car's kind of dirty. Yeah, it's like not a segment idea. That's just like a sentence you thought of. Do you know what I mean? But that's like the extent of the planning, I would say. We have a wonderful producer who's like, okay, guys, we need to have a production meeting.
Yeah.
And we need to have a planning document where you put your segment ideas for every episode in the document. And so we faithfully every week will write in the document snakes.
Yeah, or, I mean, truly, well, first of all, no, we won't, because can I keep track of that bookmark where the document
She
is?
doesn't.
Oh, forget it.
She doesn't have the link.
Is it a Google Doc?
It's a Google
It's a Google
Doc.
Doc.
I need to just take a moment and say we need to, as a nation, consider our reliance on Google Docs and how
Yes.
often they let me down.
Yeah.
It is constantly trying to log me in as some Gmail burner account of mine that I started to try to get 10% off of
It's like all of a sudden
something
it'll
on
be like,
Instagram.
it'll be like, anonymous dog.
Yeah.
And then Google's like, that's you.
You're the meerkat.
Yeah, right.
Oh, but to answer your original question, no.
Really?
There's no planning.
You crack the microphone, start talking, and
Basically. And then
Yep.
and then I'll be like, real quick before we get started on Snake, I got a bone to pick with archaeology. They keep digging stuff up, but it just looks like rocks. And then like it's literally just like
that's the show.
that's the show, and then the show's over.
Or like, oh, here's Lindy's stupidest hyperfixation yet. How do seals sleep at night? And like that doesn't require a lot of pre-planning, you know?
We're talking to Lindy West and Meagan Hatcher-Mays about their podcast, Text Me Back. Meagan, you and Lindy have been best friends for over 20 years. You know each other very well. We were curious, though, this week to see if you know each other well enough to break into each other's online accounts. We want to play a little game called Password Reset, okay?
I'm so stressed out.
This is how this is going to work. Before the show, we asked each of you a set of actual security questions that internet websites ask you to verify your identity. You know, like mother's maiden name, stuff like that.
Congratulations to the producers of Livewire for getting my bank account information.
Yes.
Well done.
And what we want to see is if you are able to guess the answers that your podcast partner would give to these very personal security questions. These are real security questions from real institutions that we have checked in on. So, Meagan, let's start with you.
Oh my God.
If you were to try to hack into Lindy's U.S. bank account, you would need to be able to answer the security question that Lindy has filled out, which is, what place are you least likely to visit? What is the place that you think Lindy is least likely to visit?
She doesn't want to go somewhere hot. So I'm gonna, oh boy, there's so many hot places.
It's in the name.
Oh, Hot Springs? Is that a place?
It is.
But that's not it. Hot.
A place that is both actually temperature warm and also culminates in a pyrotechnic event.
Disney World?
Ideally, the answer is Burning Man.
Oh my God. Oh, that is the worst place I can imagine. Oh, the vibe of it is even worse than the weather.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine me writhing?
Writhing.
I don't think so.
The nudity, the mud.
Yes.
I almost put business school. But then I wasn't sure if that counted as a place.
Dude, somebody gave birth at Burning Man last year, and I said, oh.
Yeah. I would imagine that is a not infrequent, sort of event
Oh,
there.
Burning Man.
The baby came out hula hooping.
It did. And with the freaking
Devil sticks.
yes,
Yes.
thank you.
All right, Lindy.
I'm scared.
If you were trying to hack into Meagan's personal information on the California Franchise Tax Board. A place we know Meagan does a lot of online business.
Or as I like to call it, Tuesday.
Yes. Okay, this is a real question. What song do you think you could have sung better than the original singer?
Oh.
That is a question that Meagan has answered for the California Franchise Tax Board. What do you think Meagan's answer to that was? What song could she have sung better than the original singer?
A lot of people don't know this about Meagan, but she's a karaoke champion. Meagan's karaoke performance deserves a Nobel Prize. And Meagan used to be the karaoke host at Busch Gardens.
No way.
No, it wasn't at Busch Gardens, but it was owned by, it was like I got recruited.
No, because the guy at Busch Gardens had that Superman necklace on and would often sing the same song someone just did, which was not cool.
Or is it the greatest power move you've ever seen in your life? No, I got recruited to host karaoke at like Tony's Sports Bar at Busch Gardens. And Tony would be like, is it cool if we just show you the check and then give you cash? And I was like, I don't know what this is, but I feel like we shouldn't talk to the IRS about it.
Well, clearly I never went because I was still shy. And I'm going to pick one of Meagan's karaoke classics, even though I don't know how to answer this question, but I'm going to pick Welcome to the Jungle.
Oh,
Can I, before you read the answer?
Yes, please.
Before you read the answer, I'm so mad at myself because I had that written down. And then I thought, well, it's not that I can sing it better than Axl Rose, so that I made a last minute change. So I would like to say that spiritually you did get that correct.
I would have, my other thing I was going to guess was a Journey song, but I know you would never have the hubris.
No, never.
No.
I would never step to Steve Perry.
I
in
know.
that-
We're going to
in
give
that
you a
manner.
half point on the
thanks.
Guns N' Roses. The actual answer from Meagan Hatcher Mays, what song do you think you could have sung better than the original singer? Any Bob Dylan song.
Yeah, suck it. I don't know why the boomers have been trying to shove Bob Dylan down our throats for the last 60 years, but this man sucks.
But what about,
He sounds like an old tin can and not in a good way.
Meagan, if there were some sort of a national emergency, you needed to hack into Lindy's Vanguard account.
Yes.
Sure.
And you were trying to guess some of her security questions, what would your answer be to this security question that Lindy has answered? What brand of shampoo do you use? What brand of shampoo does Lindy use that she would have listed as her
This is
answer
so
to a
great.
security question from Vanguard?
But I'll just preface this really quickly by saying, like, Lindy has beautiful glowing skin, right? And people
Yes.
will come up to her and be like, oh my God, what is your skincare routine? And she's like, antibacterial dial soap from the dishwasher
Well,
or whatever.
Okay, Meagan,
I use Tide Pods.
I would say
yeah.
keep going with that
Yeah.
line of reasoning.
So I just really feel like her shampoo is probably like an 8-in-1. It's gotta be like a Pert Plus situation. I'm gonna respectfully say like Pantene Pro V.
We're going to accept it. The actual answer, the security answer for Lindy's Vanguard account of what shampoo she uses was, quote, the dregs of whatever bottle someone left in the shower.
I was like, she's going to get it, actually, maybe, when you started that monologue.
Yeah, I should have just said whatever's in your shower because I feel like you don't even buy shampoo.
Oh, no. What's the need? You can always add more water.
Yeah.
Shake it up.
All right, last one. Lindy, when Meagan set up her Yahoo account, they asked her this security question. And this is a fairly standard one, but we were wondering if you could guess it. What is the name of your pet? We're wondering if you can guess the answer that Meagan gave. What is the name?
No, it's very hard because Meagan is a famous animal hoarder.
Well, I'm going to give you 2 points for that because that is exactly what the answer. I have a list of over 20 pets in front of me.
They sent me the thing and it was like, name all your pets and roughly the years you had them. And I had to go back to like 1984 being like,
You did. That was Gremlin,
And
a
I had-
Cocker Spaniel.
Yeah.
85 to 87, rehomed.
Well, she hasn't guessed yet. Don't give her the answers. But no, but so that I had to send them a bulleted list of like 30 guys.
Otis, cat with mental illness. 1984, question mark. Hank, Chihuahua, and my one true love.
Yeah.
Rest in
My-
power.
My godson, Hank.
He was born in a basement apartment across the street from the Urban Outfitters on Broadway.
Sounds like a Bob Dylan song. Ozzy, a Papillon with severe anxiety and dissociative disorder, born 2008. I actually did not name the one that was officially the answer, so
No,
you
you
still
did.
have a chance.
Hank, Marge.
No. No.
Eleanor the cat.
No.
Oh, I forgot to put Eleanor
It's-
on the list.
What about Coco?
She wasn't my dog. She's my brother's dog. Well, you remember your favorite one, your favorite gal.
Oh, Brenda. Of course, baby Brenda.
No,
Is that the
it's
official
not Brenda.
answer?
It's not Brenda. What's the answer?
It is Tigger, a cat of inordinate size.
Well, you were the one who said it. You were like, is he half Bobcat? What's wrong with him?
There you go. Meagan Hatcher-Mays, Lindy West. The show is Text Me Back. Thank you for coming on Livewire.
Thank you for having us.
That was Lindy West and Meagan Hatcher-Mays, recorded live at Benaroya Hall in Seattle back in December. You can check out their podcast, Text Me Back, wherever you get your podcasts. This is Livewire. We've got to take a very quick break, but stay right where you are, because when we return, we will hear some music from the one and only John Craigie. Stick around, more Livewire in just a moment. Welcome back to Livewire. I'm your host, Luke Burbank. Okay, before we get to this week's musical performance from John Craigie, how about a little preview of what we're doing on the show next week? We are going to be talking to the writer and co-host of the award-winning podcast Scamfluencers, Sachi Cole, about her newest book of essays, Sucker Punch. It's just a brutally honest and yet hilarious account of what happens when everything you know, and maybe once loved, veers just completely off course, also known as getting divorced. Then we're going to hear some poetry and some music from multidisciplinary artist Emma Ruth Rundle. Her work is both chilling and beautiful and includes her latest poetry collection, which is called the Bella Vista. You can catch that all next week right here on Livewire. In the meantime, our musical guest this week has graced the bills of the Newport Folk Festival, Pickathon, the High Sierra Music Festival, and is one of our very favorite musicians right here on Livewire. His latest album is I Swam Here, and he played us a track for it at a special event that we held next to a vineyard at Domaine Druin, Oregon, back in September of last year. Check this out.
John Craigie, welcome to Livewire.
Thank you. Good to be here.
The name of your latest album is Greatest Hits, Just Kidding, Live, No Hits. And I'm wondering, where is the line between self-deprecation and cripplingly low self-esteem? Because it is a line that I walk myself often.
You sound like my therapist. That's a good question he would ask me.
Like, I mean, really, like, you obviously are very self-deprecating, but why did you choose this particular title for the album?
My first live album I released right after I signed on with my manager, and he's has a good sense of humor, but he's also a manager trying to make my career efficient and successful, and I'm often in the way of that. And he said, what do you want to call this? And I think he said, should we call it Live in Portland? And I said, that's too boring. So the album is called Capricorn in Retrograde, Just Kidding, Live in Portland. And he hated that so much. And so my second live album was just called Live, opening for Steinbeck, which is a lot simpler. He was okay with that. but he was getting too comfortable, so so I wanted my third live album to be similar in the Just Kidding realm.
I see.
He's okay with it now.
That's sort of the Craigie brand at this point.
I hope so, yeah.
What are the songs on there? How did you choose them?
For the live albums, I tend to choose songs that have some sort of audience participation-ness, or they're a little funnier than a studio recording. Yeah, I think to get the stories captured is the main purpose for that.
Something that you said on this album to the live audience assembled was that the longer that you have been playing music, the more shy you felt.
Yeah.
I didn't think that was the direction that would typically go in.
I know, but they told me I would get more outgoing and cooler, and it has not been the case. Maybe it'll swing back around, and I'll just back to my normal awkward 14-year-old self. But that's the goal now, is just to get back to that.
So is that, like, when you say more shy, is it you feel nervous before the show, or you maybe feel a little uncomfortable with the kind of interacting at the merch table? What is the part of it where you feel more shy?
The whole thing. But I think in the early days, you really want people to pay attention to you. You know, you are in the coffee shop. They didn't come there to see you, and so you're trying to get, hey, look at me. And then at some point, they come and they start looking at you, and then they can get really intense, and then they're, saying weird things to you, and they have a tattoo of something of yours on them, and you don't know what to say. And then I think it can drive you a little more inward. So that might be sort of like the boomerang effect. I don't know. But I also never was born to be that outgoing, I don't think.
It's surprising how many people I interview for Livewire who are performers who are actually pretty introverted, considering that the thing they're doing kind of demands an audience. That's a pretty typical personality type.
I think it is a misnomer that a musician would be outgoing. I think one of the reasons we choose this is that it is at a party, if you're the one playing music, and then you don't have to talk to people. And at a show, I come out, I do the thing, I get comfortable with that thing. It's hard at first, but you do it, and then you can run backstage. So it is ideal for an introvert, even though it sounds sort of counterintuitive.
This is Livewire Radio for PRX. We are at Domain Druin this week with John Craigie. His latest album is Greatest Hits, Just Kidding, Live, No Hits. I'm wondering how your songs are, the music is great, and also the lyrics are always so engaging. Kind of what tends to come first for you? How do you create a song?
Lyrics always. I'm not that comfortable with the music part. It's something that's hard for me.
So you're getting more shy, and you're not comfortable playing the music. But other than that, it sounds like it's going pretty well.
I was never comfortable with the music part. Music's hard. I don't know if you guys have tried it.
I mean, are you essentially a writer who figured out that if you added some music to the background, it would go over better?
Yes, you have cracked my secret code, yeah.
Well, John, can we hear some music?
Yeah.
All right. John Craigie, everybody.
I'd like to do a new song for you now, and that's the 7 words you'd never want to hear at a show. I have a new album coming out. This song's called Fire Season. I haven't played it out much, so let's see how it goes.
You don't need Atlantic. You don't need Pacific. You can drown me all on your own. I'm a stone sinking deep inside you. I just wanna hide in you till it's gone. Inhale me like one of your viruses, deep into your lungs, just like you like it, like treason. I'm feeling fire season, burn me alive. I'll be your ruin. Babe, I'm only human. so practical. Carnal too. Which one are you? You can feel my power. I'm one of those flowers that only blooms at night. Sing me like one of your dirges. Swallow whole and wordless, like treason. I'm feeling fire season. I wanna die. Oh, 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 oh. Mm-hmm. Oh, oh, oh. Inhale me like one of your vices, deep into your lungs, just like I like it, like treason. I'm feeling fire season. I'm feeling fire season. Burn me alive.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
That was John Craigie right here on Livewire, recorded at a special event we held at Domain, Druin, Oregon. All right, that's going to do it for this week's episode of Livewire. A huge thanks to our guests, Hari Kondabolu, Lindy West, Meagan Hatcher-Mays, and John Craigie. Also, special thanks this episode to David Millman and all the wonderful folks over at Domain, Druin, Oregon.
Laura Haddon is our executive producer, Heather D. Michelle is our executive director, and Melanie Sevchenko is our producer and editor. Eben Hoffer is our technical director, Trey Hester is our assistant editor, Valentine Keck is our operations manager, and Ashley Park is our marketing manager.
Our house sound is by Aaron Tomasco, and our house band is Sam Pinkerton, A.L. Alves, Ethan Fox Tucker, and A. Walker Spring, who also composes our music. This show is mixed by Eben Hoffer and Trey Hester.
Additional funding provided by the Oregon Arts Commission, a state agency funded by the state of Oregon and the National Endowment for the Arts. Livewire was created by Robin Tenenbaum and Kate Sokolov.
This week, we'd like to thank Livewire members and actual friends of mine, Jim Gochi and Kara Turano of Portland, Oregon. For more information about our show or how you can listen to our podcast, head on over to livewireradio.org. I'm Luke Burbank for Elena Passarello and the whole Livewire crew. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next week.